Dear fellow coders, welcome to One Little Coder. This is day 4 of 8 days of Streamlit, where I teach you to build one Streamlit application every single day. And in this day 4, I'm going to teach you how to build a Wordle spoiler. Yes, you read it right. It is a Wordle spoiler. What does it mean? You just have to enter the number for which you need a solution, and then you would get the Wordle solution for that particular day. Now you might think, who would do that? Why on earth you might do that? So I thought this is an opportunity for me to teach a couple of Streamlit related features, and that is why we are making this particular app. And at the end of this application, you're going to deploy this application on Hugging Face Spaces for anybody in the world to see the code and also use it. So basically this is an end-to-end tutorial. So let me quickly share about how I came up with this idea. So every day I think about what is the Streamlit application that I need to build. And today I came across in a very interesting Twitter conversation. So here you can see Darren Burns have figured out that Wordle, the very popular trending application that everybody is playing, has got the source code. And in that source code, it has got all the words, arrays of all the words, and there is a seed value that goes inside it, and based on that it is going to spit out the word for the particular day. So curiously, as every programmer does, I went inside the source code and I saw that there is a JavaScript file that has got a lot of words like this, and I tried to enter a couple of the day of the particular day's word, the index, and then I got the right answer. So I thought, okay, why not create a Streamlit application and teach a couple of things, especially something like a button. So in this video, we're going to build an application that looks like this. So where, like, for example, I can go and then say, give me the word for 205. And then if I just say, I want to spoil the mode, you can see that it results in query. So I can say 204, and then I can say, yes, I want to spoil the mode, and then you can see the result. So this is what we're going to build, but in this process of building, we're going to learn few important things from Streamlit. One, all the things that we have already learned. So we are going to learn about a basic Streamlit application, but in the process we are going to learn a little bit of web scraping, and also we are going to learn about button and how to customize the Streamlit button and how to make some action based on button. So if you're looking to learn something interesting about Streamlit button, and also if you are interested in building a Wordle spoiler, this is a video for you. And let's get started. As usual, my folder, the coding folder, the programming folder, the code base folder has got two files. One is my app.py file, second one is my requirements.txt file. We have got two packages here. One is request, the second is Streamlit in the requirements.txt. And if you see my core Python app file, it's not even 40 lines of Python code. So that's the whole pitch of Streamlit, how easy it makes for you or any data scientist or machine learning engineer to develop a data application that can be deployed online. Again, this is not necessarily per se a particularly Streamlit advantageous application. You could do this with Flask, you could do this with Django, but because I'm doing a Streamlit series, I thought, okay, this is a nice opportunity for me to show you a couple of Streamlit features. So first thing is, as you all know, like I say in all the videos, the video that you see right now might look perfect without any errors. I might not Google, I might not go to Stack Overflow, but for every video I take about 3 to 4 hours to prepare, and in that process I make a lot of mistakes. I go to Stack Overflow, I go to GitHub issues, I go to Streamlit community, and I do a lot of research and then come up with this final code that I think I can explain it to you seamlessly so that you don't get bored and also you learn something new. So please do not assume that I code perfectly like how you see in this video. Whether it is my day job or my hobby project, I always use the internet resources, Stack Overflow, Google, all the community, GitHub issues, for me to make trial and error and then finally come up with this kind of solution. So do not think I'm perfect. Second thing is, do not watch this video just like a therapy video or an entertainment video. If you're going to serious about learning Streamlit, then while you're watching this video, either code in the side or finish this video and then code. At least copy and paste it, run it even if you're not typing it. Otherwise, you're just watching this video for nice entertainment, but you wouldn't learn anything per se. So now let's get started with the video, or the code I should say. So the first line of code that we have got is request. Let me close this is not required. Import request. So this is to get the JavaScript code. So basically we are using this to actually make an HTTP call and get the JavaScript code, and this is to do regex regular expression and extract the list of words. As you might have already seen, I showed you here that this is a huge JavaScript file, and one of the particular component in this JavaScript file is these list of words, and we need a way to extract these list of words, and that's what we're going to do it here. The next thing is import Streamlit as ST, of course, for web app development. And next thing is, ignore this section for now, we'll come back to this section later. The next thing is, we want to say the function that will extract words from here. So the first thing that we are doing is we are creating it as a function, and then we are caching it. So we have already discussed caching multiple times in this series. Caching is to make sure that this particular function runs only once when you deploy the Streamlit application, so that a lot of users do not have to wait for the same thing, like something has happened and then it's cached, so all the other users could be served with this content. That's the point of caching in simple terms. I mean, like, there are a lot of better explanation of what a Streamlit cache would do, but in simple terms, this is what it would do. We are creating a function called extract_solution. It doesn't take any input argument, where I'm just simply getting get get in uppercase, getting the content from this page. You can use URL lib as well, so but I'm more comfortable with request, so that's why I've got with request. And after we do that, we have like a bunch of text here. All these text that you see, it is inside this object wordle.js. So it would ideally be a response object. So that's why you need to like, if you want to print this and then see, you need to do .text or .content, and that's exactly what we are doing. We're trying to do a regex to say that, okay, give me everything that starts with var la is equal to, and then the open square bracket, and ends with another open square bracket. So if you see here somewhere that, yeah, the close square bracket. So you have the open square bracket, you have the close square bracket, and we are saying we want everything that is inside this. So between that start of var, which is the way to define a variable in JavaScript, and end square bracket, you're saying everything we want, and then we are saying that we want it from this particular text. So after we get that, we're going to assign it to an object called m, and that m is a list, because this is find all the instances would be there. So this is a list. We want the first, because we know that when we look at the code, there is no more instance like that. So we're going to say m of 0, get the first element, and split it by comma. So split it by comma, so that we can make a Python list from this. And we're going to make a Python list, and we are returning the Python list. So at the end of this process, what we have is, we have a Python list that's called word list, and that word list has got all these individual words, and then we are assigning it to word list. So this is this part. Let me add the comment. So I'm going to say extract the word list, or I should say wordle solution list from the source page JavaScript. Okay. And the next thing is, after we have the word list, now we are talking about the front end. If you look at the front end, we have got a title. The title is pretty scary if you see. So we have got a ghost, and we have got Wordle spoiler, and we have got an angry devil. So this is the Wordle spoiler, again to emphasize that this is not a fun exercise. This is part of learning. Do not visit this page if you do not have a light heart, or if you don't want to lose the fun of playing Wordle. So the next thing we want to do is, we want to give a text input. The text input is where the person has to enter the particular Wordle's number. So we are not making it very easier to go with the date. So we are making one level of friction where somebody has to enter it. So this is something only when somebody is playing Wordle regularly, they might be aware of this thing. So that's why we have this number that we are extracting. After we extract this, we are going to show an error. We're going to say, so if you refresh this page, you would not see anything here. And even if you have a number here, let's say I'm going to do 207, even if I do that, if I do enter also, you wouldn't see anything here, because you have to explicitly now click this thing, and we are making that by having a button here. So first we have an error message. You can see the error message that we have. It says, do you really want to do this? I mean, you can always play for fun. After we have that error message, we have a button, and that button is actually an if condition. So if this button is pressed, and what is the value of the button? It says yes, I want to spoil the mode, And then if you do that, then if somebody clicks it, of course, if somebody clicks it, then you display the result. So when you click this, it shows the balloons, and after it shows the balloons, then you can get the result. The way we get the result is quite simple. We take the word list and we convert our input, which is a number enclosed with string, and we are converting that into an integer, and then we are giving it to this list and then getting the output and then displaying it here. So nothing fancy here, everything is fine. So now the most important part of this application is the button part that you see. So everything that you see here happens only when you click the button. That's important, right? And that is enabled because we are enclosing all these things within an if condition. So this is one important thing. Like for example, if you want to do an action, if you want to display something, or if you want somebody to do something, or if you want to show something only after a button is clicked, then this is what you need to use. This is how you need to do it. So where you click this button, let's say you want to send an email, you click this button, let's say you want to show a chart, you click this button, you want to close stop a process. So this button will execute the rest of the statements that are below this. So that's basically this if condition is. And you can see now the important part is, or the fancier part is, the CSS part is, you can see the color changing. When I hover on it, it goes dark red to indicate something bad is going to happen when you click that thing. So how are we going to achieve it? So this is one of the most underrated aspects or features of Streamlit. A lot of people use Streamlit just as it is, but you can make CSS changes. CSS stands for cascading styling sheet, I think, style sheet, something like that, where you use CSS, which is like a language, to beautify or change the aspects, like the look and feel of an HTML application. And that is exactly what we are going to do here. So by default, let me again remind you, by default, that you can, there is a dark and light theme. So there is a light theme and there is a dark theme. By default, this is available. But if you still want to play with the Streamlit's the normal colors, but you want to change, you want to give effect, then you can use CSS. And the way we are executing the CSS is, we are actually making it a markdown. This is like a hack. We are making it a markdown and we are going to run this code. So when you see the Streamlit application, when you see the source code of it, this markdown is executed because you have allowed HTML. Now this becomes a CSS, and this is going to give some color, like it's going to make some impact for this button. So let me show you how does it look without this. Let me run this, rerun the code, and you can see that there is no change, right? So you can see the normal color change, but it doesn't make a big difference. But once we have this thing, let me rerun it, you can see how it changes when we hover it. So this is done by two elements. One, first of all, you have a normal button, and for that button you are selecting what is the background color and what is the color. And you can see, like, as we change, for example, if I change the color to say some AA99FF, let's see if it's even a valid color. It doesn't look like a valid color. Let me take blue color hex, and then I can come back here and say, okay, this is blue color hex. I can paste it here. Oops, sorry. I can paste it here and then go back here and rerun it. You can see the blue color, right? So you have blue, red. So this is how you change the color of the background. And again, the font that you see at the front is colored in white color. That's what you see here. So you can change the color. And the next part is what happens when you hover it. So this is normal button, and this is button when it is hovered, and you again define different colors here. So it's like this. You will go here and then do it. So this is how you change it, and this is all enclosed within style. So this is a way to write inline CSS within Streamlit. I can actually do a separate video for making this style changes in Streamlit after this series probably. But for now, if you want to make changes to your Streamlit component or whatever you see on the screen, this is the easiest hack for you to make that change. You create a style component which is more like an inline CSS, and enclose that within your Streamlit markdown and allow the HTML. so that when the app runs, this becomes like the style sheet that is loaded before the component is actually loaded, and then you have that color. So let me quickly show you how the app works. I think you've already seen it, so then we can move on to deploying this solution. So now I'm going to go, and then I'm making a conscious effort not to show you the solution of today's question, which by the way I solved without any tool. So I'm going to show you 208 maybe, and then I'm going to say yes, I want to spoil the mood, and after I click that, you can see that it says Abby. So this is something that I struggled really to figure out the answer, but yeah, here you have, like, you can see the CSS change as well. So this is the application that we have built. I hope this application was easy for you to follow when I'm doing it. Now the next thing we are going to do is we're going to deploy it on Hugging Face Spaces. So I'm going to go online and search for Hugging Face Spaces, and I'm going to open this. And if you have not logged into Hugging Face Spaces, make sure that you have logged into Hugging Face Spaces. I'm going to create a new space. I'm going to call it Wordle Spoiler. It's quite a name, right? You're actually building a Wordle spoiler using a very weird way. So I'm going to click create app, and after I click create app, so I have two options. I can copy the code, paste it here, and then save it. And then the next thing is I can create another file. So I can go back here and then say, okay, add a file, create new file. I can say requirements.txt, and I can say request, and Streamlit is installed by default, so I don't have to give, but still it's fine. Just for the sake, if you're deploying it somewhere else other than Hugging Face Spaces, I'm giving it. If you want to know more about Hugging Face Spaces, I've got a separate crash course on Hugging Face, like what are the components that they have. I will definitely link that in the YouTube description. You can check it out. But otherwise, yeah, this application should get deployed in a couple of seconds, I think. I hope it doesn't throw any error because we are doing a little bit of scraping here. But let's see. So this code will be linked in the YouTube description, and this app would be linked in the YouTube description. So if you like this, give me a thumbs up, and then let me know in the comment section. Also, please encourage your friends to subscribe. Like, I think more than 95% of the people who see this channel are not subscribed. So they come back again and again, but they don't subscribe. I don't know if they don't want to subscribe. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm really trying to put some efforts in sharing the knowledge that I've got and also teach new things. So subscribing, this would encourage me to build more such content. It is still building. Once the building is done, so you would see running here. Instead of building, you would see a green color icon here that shows running. And if you want to make enhancements every day, I think I give you tips how to make enhancements. If you want to make enhancements here, so right now we are just printing the final number as just the final name as just a name, but now you can actually try to make more CSS changes and then show it like a card. It can explore different options. Like Streamlit has KPI component. I think I'll probably cover KPI component tomorrow or day after tomorrow, just to build an analytics dashboard. So you can use that and show different letters, all the 5 letters separately, like how you would actually see it on the Wordle game. So you can do all those enhancements if you want to do. I'm quite shocked that this is still getting installed. I mean, I think probably because request is a little on the heavier side. Let me check the code again. So we have app.py, right, and we have requirements.txt that has got 2 packages. That's good. And one more customization that I've already told you. So when you go to spaces, you would see these icons, emoticons, emojis. You can also customize that. So if you want to customize that, you can go here and then go to the file version and then go to the readme.md and edit. And then right now you have this computer as an emoticon, so you can add anything you want. You can either add this devil, probably. I think that would make some sense. And this YAML file is important. Like if you're building completely from scratch, make sure that you have such an YAML file that indicates Hugging Face Spaces. That what does it mean? Like what are we doing? We're actually trying to run a Streamlit application. That's why the SDK is Streamlit, and the app file name. Like if you see the file name that we have used here, so this is app.py, and if you have a different name, you can edit it here. So now I'm just going to change the emoticon and commit changes. So while we are waiting for this to get deployed, I can actually show you to deploy this on Streamlit Cloud. Streamlit Cloud is a free service, not a free service. It's a service from Streamlit for you to easily deployed any Streamlit code. That's probably like one of the easiest way. And you've got a free tier there. So I'm going to first sign in. After I sign in, I just search for Streamlit Cloud and I got the first URL, and then I'm signing in. For you to deploy it on a Streamlit Cloud, you need to have this thing on a repository. So I'm going to quickly go and then create a new repository. Imagine like you need to be signed in GitHub. So I'm going to call it Wordle spoiler, and what is this? So I'm going to copy the solution from here and paste it. Yeah, and just edit it a little bit. I'm going to add it with a readme file, and I'm going to set the license to be MIT. If you're going to make a commercial application with this, I don't care, so you can do anything. So after we have this thing, I'm going to copy and paste the code here. Copied the file, I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to save the changes. Maybe I can add an emoticon here. Just commit message, upload it. After we do that, copy this URL after it gets uploaded. Copy the URL and go to your Streamlit Cloud, and then you click new app, paste the repository URL, and after you do that, it shows the file is in main and it's looking for app.py. You can change the name there, and then you click deploy. Before that, just check here if the file is like available. I think it's available, so I'm going to click deploy, and then you would see that it would take a couple of seconds for it to provision a machine for you, and then it would go through a bunch of steps going about installing the packages that you have used, and then we would actually see the app. Like at this point, you can see that the app has been deployed, and you can go here, close this, and then search 202 maybe. Yeah, 20. I don't know if 202 was a thing. 208. Yes, I want spoil the mode, and you got the answer. 206. Yes, I want spoil the mode, and you can get the answer. And now you have to just copy this URL and share it with anybody on the planet for them to get spoiled by the app that you have just now built. I think there was a little bit of issue here, so you can probably see this application later, maybe go to my space and check, but otherwise this should work fine. Every other day it has worked fine. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, just to quickly summarize, that we managed to extract the solution or the list of words from Wordle's JavaScript source code, and then we tried to parse it a little bit, and then we created let me show you the code. And then we created a little bit of UI component, and then we got a user input, and from that input we also displayed an error message, and also we had an action button where only when the button is clicked you get the answer displayed, and then we had a little bit of balloons event, and also we customized the button, Streamlit button here, so that you have this nice visual. So I hope this video was helpful to you. I'll see you in the next Streamlit video tomorrow. Until that, stay safe, happy coding.